Good morning, guys. It's the Peruvian Trucker back with another video. I am at Tag Truck Centers here in Kentucky because my inverter decided to fail on me. As you can see, microwave is completely off, fridge is completely off. These anti-gel bottles are starting to wear. Now, I'm not gonna discredit the technician's work, you know. He has to do his due diligence and check everything before concluding that it was just my dumbass. Okay guys, so I'm back in the truck, and as I mentioned, my inverter failed. It is 7:17 in the morning. I delivered my last load in Puxico, Missouri yesterday morning. I got unloaded by noon. I checked in at 7 in the morning. Didn't really get unloaded until 10:30. There was a shortage. One case out of 1,718 cases were missing, so I had 1717, and I got a load that picks up in Kentucky. Well, it picked up in Kentucky this morning. So what happened was I deadheaded about 170 miles to my pickup in Murray, Kentucky. I parked at a Walmart, plenty of time yesterday to do my shopping, even hit the gym, and then moved to my pickup location that was about a mile away from the Walmart, and had overnight parking. So I went to Walmart, I did my shopping, spent about an hour and a half, deciding what to bring to the truck. I come to the truck and everything is off. My fridge. The only reason why I noticed every time that this happens, because my inverter, I don't want to say my inverter has failed, but there's been an overload of my inverters in both my trucks multiple times, and the only way that I notice every single time is when I open the fridge and the light is off. I never realize that the microwave is turned off, or that the light in the TV, the little red light in the bottom, isn't lit up. So, I load everything on the truck at the Walmart, and when I'm ready to load it into the fridge, I open the fridge and the light is off, and I'm like, so I do the usual stuff that I've done in the past. Just turn off the inverter, and kick it back on. And usually that fixes the issue. Usually there's just an overload, so you gotta flip the switch. And that didn't fix it. When I ordered this truck, I got the option extra of shore power with a smaller inverter. Instead of being at 2,000 amp, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 1,500. No big deal. It's been working just fine for me for the last 6 months that I've had this truck. The issue is that I contact Road Assist and the tractor shop at Prime, and because this is like an option extra and it has a shore power, they don't deal with them at Prime. I had to bring it to a dealer, an authorized dealer. So this one was the closest one, 30 miles from where I was at, which is great. I messaged my dispatch and I asked if there was any way I could get out of the load that I was currently on. This was a load going from Kentucky to Texas, and they took me out of that load. So as soon as I got removed out of that load, while this is going on, I'm still, returning all the food that I bought at Walmart, and then I went across the street to the Planet Fitness. So I took a shower, I shaved, and And then I made my way to this place after everything was said and done, after we figured out that I couldn't get this taken care of at a yard, or anything. So we are in the back. As you can see, as I was saying, no light on the TV. Microwave is completely off. Fridge is completely off. Now, thankfully, we're not in full spring just yet, to where, you know, this happened at around noon. No, I want to say 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon. My lentils are still holding cold or still frozen, which is great. I was worried that I returned a bunch of stuff. Thankfully, this happened while I was shopping and not after I stacked the fridge with a bunch of stuff. It happened at the best possible moment, in my opinion. Anyway, as you can see, this is my inverter. Well, this is the APU controls, but this is the inverter that comes with the shore power. I'll show you the unit in a second, but as you can see, there's a little diagram over here. You know, when the status is red, that means that there's an issue. And you can see that the output power is at 0. I am not terribly familiar with this, but there's not really much more that you can do other than cycle through this and visually inspect the unit. So as I mentioned, this unit that I got when I ordered the truck has the shore power connection. And this is the unit right here. So what I'm gonna do, I just checked in at this place and they won't bring me in for another hour. I'm going to clean up my bunk area and then make some room over here so that they can work on this, because I've had some issues in the past where they'll just walk in and sit on the bed with their work uniforms, and I would rather just, you know, put everything in the top bunk and then flip my mattress so I don't have to wash my sheets. Now, so today's Tuesday, which means that I'm willing to bet that this week is officially done. I'm not gonna make any more money. But the silver lining is that there is a Cracker Barrel. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there is a Cracker Barrel right there. So as soon as I got checked in, I'm going to make my way to the Cracker Barrel and leave my troubles behind, quite literally. And then I'll come back. I'm really hoping that they have this unit in stock. It really seems that it internally failed, but who knows? So like I said, right now I'm going to clean out my bunk, make room, put everything in the top bunk so they have room to move around in here. And then I'm going to try to rearrange stuff in my side compartment, or in my saddle. Is it the saddle compartment? I don't know, the compartment under the bunk, so that they have enough room to remove the plate or cover for the inverter and do the work that they need to do. If you need to replace it, it's not going to be terribly hard. They're not going to throw all my stuff on the ground. Yeah. So as you can see, I have multiple carpets. You know, there's the carpet that I ordered, and then I have these two. They slip all the time. This one right here is the one that I'm just gonna leave so that they can step on when they're walking in and out of the truck. I'm sure that that's what they're gonna be doing, between working down under the bunk and looking at the control panel over here. I think it's inevitable that they're gonna be having multiple runs. Now, the other thing I'm gonna do is just gonna throw this trash can over here, making it easy for them to access the truck. Something that's terribly annoying is that I was looking at the stuff here on my side box, and these anti-gel bottles are starting to wear. Thankfully I catched it before it leaked, or before they leaked again. I'm gonna throw these away. It's freaking annoying. So I'm out here throwing some of my anti-gel away. And these boxes have these pads. We're gonna see if I can fashion something to protect the remaining bottles. Well, finally getting checked in. It is 9:38 in the morning.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay guys, so it is 11 in the morning and the truck is ready to roll. I went to Cracker Barrel and I walked right back. I didn't even go to the lounge and they were pulling the truck out. I hate to say this, but it was my fault. I just needed to reset the unit and it started working right away. I just didn't know where the reset button was. So let me show you. So as you can see, this is my inverter. We saw it in an earlier clip. And there's a button right here that says reset, reset, test, test. The light's not on right now because it's been reset. But if we look at the clip from earlier this morning when I was showing the unit, there was an orange or amber light noticeable. So I just had to press reset back then, this button right here, and it would have fixed everything. I didn't know that. This is hidden very well, in my opinion, if you don't know what you're looking for. But now I know. So that was an embarrassing situation. Technician explained that to me, and I walked to the service writer or the service person that took me in earlier this morning, and I asked them, so how embarrassing was that? And he chuckled and he's like, it's okay, man, it happens to everybody. So I asked him if I needed to sign anything to be let go, and he's like, no, we'll take care of it with Prime, just go. And that's that. I'm still at their drop yard here. I just attached to my trailer. And I let my dispatch know that I'm ready to roll. I honestly don't know if I will be charged at all, since this wasn't an actual issue. This was user error. I just wasn't educated enough, if that's the right terminology. This is the first time I have this inverter. The ones that Prime usually has on their lease trucks are the ones that go under the seat or behind the seat, that they just have a different, they're just a different setup. So if it comes down to it being a driver or user error, or if I'm found liable for the charges or whatever, I don't know. If they say that I'm responsible for the service bill, however long it took the technician to figure that out, I will own it. That's on me, honestly. Like I mentioned, I didn't know, or I'm still learning about this inverter. I'm sure someone out there would try and make the case of, oh, Prime didn't educate me well enough, or there's not enough information on this inverter, or whatever. Bottom line is, I dropped the ball. I didn't really do any research on my inverter other than grabbing the service manual. It's in my bunk. It's somewhere out. It's right there. It's right there. That piece of paper next to the box, that is the manual for the inverter. And I really just glanced at it when this wasn't working. I didn't really take the time to read it. And I would imagine that the solution to my problem is in that manual, but I didn't go over it. I thought it was easier to just drive the 30 miles. Call me lazy. You're 100% correct. And if this laziness costs me paying for the service bill, well, they just replied saying that they're gonna get me dispatched as soon as possible. So if I have to pay for the technician's time to solve this issue that I probably could have easily solved looking at the service manual a little bit more or a little bit longer, then so be it. Lesson learned. You know, it would be it's not gonna be costly, maybe $50, $100, whatever. But plus losing my load, plus the downtime. You know, just going to learn from this situation and move on. With that being said, as I have been sitting this morning, it hit me that, well, this is the third time, or has been the third time, that I've been down for some sort of repair this year. Only 3 months in. Now, obviously, this one doesn't really count as a repair. This was my mistake. But the other two were legitimate repairs that I had to shut down for. The first one was in January, and that was at the fuel pump on my... I think it was the fuel pump. I can't remember right now. Or the starter. More than likely a fuel pump. On my APU, quit. Stopped working. So I was stuck for a day in Bentonville, or south of Bentonville, Arkansas, at a Thermo King. And then just a month ago, the weekend after Valentine's Day, Monday or Tuesday, I had to go to a Freightliner dealer north of McDonough, south of Atlanta, because I had a check engine light. Now, the truck was running fine. I just had a check engine light and I wanted to get it addressed. And that turned out to be a cracked DPF filter at under 40,000 miles. They looked it over. They found the crack, but they didn't find any fuel or any coolant or anything like that. So it got replaced under warranty within a couple of hours. Basically a full day I was there. From, I don't know, 2 in the morning when I got there. I got checked in at 7 in the morning, left at like 4 in the afternoon. And, you know, in a perfect world, obviously I would rather not have any mechanical issues or no reason to pull over and just run. But I have to appreciate or show appreciation for the fact that while I did have to go to a shop, both times it was what I would say fairly quickly. You know, checked in the morning, out by the end of the day. No multiple days parked or shut down, you know, including this one. Obviously, this was, again, my fault, but it could have been something else. Regardless, I mean, there was an issue, and it was an issue that had a quick fix. So, just being appreciative of that, you know. With my lease truck, I made the comment on my last video of how, like, with my lease truck, I was supposed to, like, go through everything so that I wouldn't have any issues on my lease purchase, you know, like hitting a deer or getting backed into. And, you know, those things took more time to get repaired. You know, when I got backed into, I mean, I basically lost a week, 5-6 days between, you know, deadheading to a yard and then waiting for the truck to be repaired. You know, in that moment, I was just eating it. And, you know, I was prepared then, just as I'm prepared right now, for anything. But again, I still appreciate the fact that this issues on this truck that have been covered under warranty have not taken as much time to get addressed as they could have if I would have gone to the wrong dealer at the wrong time with huge wait times.
The next day.
Well guys, so it's another day and I'm at the Springfield terminal. I'm on inbound outbound right now. I'm on a load that picked up in Arkansas going to Hendersonville, Missouri, I think. About 120 miles from the terminal. So I'm stopping here for a 6-hour break in which I'm going to get an oil change and hopefully do some laundry and hit the gym and then shower. You know, I got 6 hours. I woke up like 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, picked up my load. I got some fuel in me still. This morning I woke up to an invoice for the repair that they did at the dealer yesterday for my inverter, and it's an invoice for $431 for basically an hour worth of work for the technician to press a button. Now, I'm not gonna discredit the technician's work. You know, he has to do his due diligence and check everything before concluding that it was just my dumbass, before just assuming that it was just dumb me that doesn't know how to reset it. So I'm not gonna discredit that. That's why I mentioned that I was okay with being charged an amount, because I am responsible to a degree. But $431 is a little much in my opinion. The truck was in the bay for an hour and 10 minutes at best. The time that it took for me to walk to Cracker Barrel and come back. I went ahead and sent a message to Road Assist asking if they can look into it, maybe try to dispute it. I don't know if anything's gonna come out of it. Hopefully they can do something. If not, then I don't think I can get any more upset. I am not really upset. I had an hour or two to really assimilate the fact that nothing may happen. And, you know, this lesson's going to cost me more than I expected. And we're just going to move on from it. So like I mentioned, I'm here on inbound outbound. As soon as I get through inbound outbound, I'm going to drop this trailer, go to the express bay, and get an oil change real quick. And what do you know, as I'm sitting here on inbound outbound, I just got the response from Road Assist saying that yes, the charges are correct and it is all labor. So $430. If you want me to break down or explain how I'm getting charged $430 for a non-repair, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll make a separate video, take 5 to 10 minutes to explain it from the service technician point of view. And that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Honestly, like I said, I'm just going to go get an oil change, then I'm going to do laundry, go to the gym, shower, and deliver this load. I want to thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned, I'm not terribly pleased about the charges for something that I could have probably figured out myself had I taken the time. Hopefully at least it was entertaining for you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. "24 hours, 7 days a week, except when they're on break." And while I'm here waiting, they are already pulling my trailer to the shop so they can fix it. It's about to be 4 in the afternoon, which means that I have roughly 5 hours before I have to leave. We'll see how it goes.